About $416 a year. That's how much the new tax break knocks off the school taxes on a $500,000 home in Plano. And it's not a plan for someday. It's already on the bills that went out last fall. In Louisville, that same break is worth about $447 a year, and if you're 65 or older, it can be over $1,000. Add it all up, and Texas is putting about $51 billion over the next 2 years into lower property taxes, the biggest cut in state history. 2 years ago, we made a video asking if Dallas property taxes were out of control. Well, back then, the numbers said yes. Today, the math is different, so we're updating the answer. If you own a home in North Dallas, we'll show you how much your bill dropped and how to make sure you're getting it. And if you're a buyer who got scared off by Texas taxes, well, now it's time to redo your math as well.
The old video is called Are Dallas Property Taxes Out of Control? And when we filmed it, the school tax break was $100,000 and bills just kept climbing. Then in November of 2025, Texas voters passed Proposition 13. It raised that break from $100,000 to $140,000, and it counted back to the 2025 tax year. So the bill you got last October was already smaller, whether you noticed it or not. Here's the simple version. Your school district now taxes you as if the first $140,000 of your home's value isn't even there. A newspaper estimate put the savings for a typical Texas home about $490 a year. Nothing shows up as a check in your mailbox. The bill just comes in lower than it would have, which is exactly why a lot of people never even noticed. And that matters because if the break isn't on your account, you got nothing. We're going to come back to that.
So the school part of the tax is the biggest piece of your bill, usually more than half of it actually. So a break there is a big deal. Plano school tax rate is about $1.04 for every $100 of your home value. So every $10,000 of the break saves you about $104 a year, and that extra $40,000 voters just added saves you another $416. Frisco's rate is a little lower, so it's about $408 there. Louisville's rate is the highest of the three, so the same break is worth $447, and that covers most of Flower Mound as well. And here's the fair part. The break is a flat dollar amount, not a percentage. The owner of a $395,000 house in Louisville and the owner of a $1.3 million house in Southlake, they both get the same $40,000 knockoff. So the help is biggest as a share on the more affordable homes.
If you're 65 or older, or you have a disability that qualifies, the cut is much bigger than $450. A new law raised the extra break for seniors from $10,000 up to $60,000. Stack that on the $140,000 everybody gets, and that's $200,000 of your home's value the school district can't tax. Run it on a typical $395,000 Louisville home. Under the old rule, you paid school tax on $285,000, about $3,186 a year. Now you pay on $195,000, about $2,180. That's roughly $1,000 back every year, close to a third off the school part of your bill. Seniors also keep their tax freeze, which stops that part of the bill from ever going up. And the state adjusted the freeze so that the new break actually reaches them. By the state's own count, the average senior is saving about $1,933 a year compared to a few years ago.
And that's massive. And there's a third piece most people missed, and it helps everyone, even folks with a second home or a rental. The state paid to lower the school tax rate itself by about 3 cents per $100 of value this year. That's part of why Frisco's rate dropped, and Frisco figured the rate cut alone saves it an average of about $279 a year. Plano's rate has now fallen 7 years in a row. One warning though, your full bill also includes the city, the county, the community college, and school building debt, and those pieces move on their own. Louisville, for example, kept its total rate flat this year because its debt side went up while the state pushed the school side down. So the direction across Texas is down, but the exact numbers really depend on your district. That's why we run these numbers suburb by suburb and not just quoting one average across Texas.
Here's your homeowner checklist, and none of it takes more than an evening, okay? Pull up your October 2025 statement or log into your county's appraisal district website and make sure a homestead exemption shows on your account. If it doesn't, filing it is free. It takes about 15 minutes online. And it also turns on a rule that stops your taxable value from rising more than 10% a year, no matter what the market does. If you get an official looking letter, which you might, offering to file your homestead for $35 or $50 or $100, throw it away. The Texas Attorney General has warned about those companies, and the paid version doesn't even file the right paper. And if your mortgage company collects your taxes with your monthly payment, that's called escrow. So check your latest escrow statement. Those companies can run a year behind, so you may be owed a refund or a lower payment that they haven't done yet. A 5-minute call will fix it all.
Now, over to the buyer's side. Because the property tax is the number one complaint that I hear from people moving to Texas, and it just got smaller. Take a $500,000 Plano home with 20% down, so a $400,000 loan at around 6.5% interest. The loan itself runs about, give or take, $2,525 a month. Under the old break, the Plano school tax inside your monthly payment was about $347. Now it's about $312. That $35 a month is the same relief you'd get if your mortgage rate dropped from about 6.5 to 6.3%, and nobody waves off a rate drop like that. Texas still has higher property taxes than most states, no question in that. But the school part of that Plano bill now works out to about 0.75% off of the home's value, even though the sticker rate looks scarier. The sticker does scare people. The real math after the break is what you'll actually pay.
Well, none of this makes Texas a cheap tax state, and I won't pretend it does. A $1.3 million home in Southlake still writes a 5-figure tax check every single year, break or no break. Texas trades an income tax for a higher property tax, and whether that trade works for you depends on your income and your house. What changed is the size of that gap. Between the bigger break, the senior break, the lower rate, and the 10% cap, the state has cut school property taxes for the average homeowner by more than $1,700 a year compared to a few years ago by the Texas Senate's own count. When we asked if Dallas taxes were out of control back in 2024, home values had shot up and the breaks hadn't kept pace. In 2026, the breaks caught up in a big way. Rates get set again every fall and values every spring, so treat every number here as this year's snapshot.
Yeah, and so here's how it looks across our map. A $620,000 Flower Mound home saves about $447 a year from the bigger break. A $395,000 Louisville home saves that same $447 break because the break is flat. A $500,000 Plano home saves about $416 plus whatever the rate cut adds. A senior downsizing anywhere in Louisville sees the school bill drop about $1,000 a year. And take a buyer going under contract in Frisco at about $675,000, the school tax comes to about $5,454 a year versus roughly $6,050 under the old rules. So they keep close to $600 without negotiating a thing. On their own, those aren't life-changing numbers, but $40 to $85 a month is often the difference between qualifying easily and stretching it, and buyers feel it at the pre-approval before anywhere else.
So, 2 quick homework jobs depending on which side you're on. If you own, make sure the break is on your account. Check your escrow and then find out what your home is worth now, because the same market that changed your tax bill has been moving your value, and most people are carrying a 2-year-old number in their head. We built a free tool for that. Go to our website. If you're buying or you talked yourself out of Texas over taxes back when we made the first video, DM us your suburb and price range, and we'll run your exact bill under the new rules. Even if you're already working with another agent and just want a second set of eyes on the tax math, send it over. It costs you one message and we answer every single one, and we'll see you in the next one.